It's funny, yet tedious to go through everyday life having a normal job, because I go into Sheets to do a delivery and I have to wait because the guy in front of me has like 200 items to get checked in. I have 18, which would take 5 seconds, but he started before him and his handheld device was having problems. So I'm just standing there waiting. They're like, "Oh, we're really sorry to make you wait." And I'm like, "It's okay, man." I'm like, I had something I wanted to do, but it's not like I have any hurry to do anything. I'm always where I'm supposed to be. And he's like, "Well, that's a good way to look at it." I'm like, "Well, I have a lot of philosophies." He's like, "What do you, like what?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm always where I'm supposed to be." I'm like, and honestly, I feel that I'm better than any situation. Like, if I have to wait, I'm not going to sit here and getting all out of shape because I'm waiting for someone. I'm like, instead, I'd rather just be happy about where I'm at, what I'm doing, and I'm here. Like, that just happens to be where I'm at. And he's like, "That's a good way to look at it." And the other guy came over and he's like, "So how you been, man? How's work going?" And I'm like, "Well, we're talking about work, so I mean, I guess it's good." I was like, "It's just a job, just like you. We here at Sheets." I'm like, you don't really care about your job. It's just you're at Sheets. I'm like, think about it. So this guy's sitting here messing around with his Sheets handheld, like it's such a big deal. This guy, other guy, he's cutting all the tops off of the boxes with the box cutter so he can, have the tops open so he can easily grab the sauces and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know how unimportant this is? You're overstuffing people who don't need that food. You're supplying people with stuff they don't need. It's a convenience store. It's all convenience stuff. It's not necessities. There's not a need for... I need to stop and get a Schmegel and a large, big gulp, slurp, Sheets drink. You don't. You don't need anything. You don't need any of those things. So it's like I'm trying to say to him, like, I'm not saying that it's not a good job. I'm glad you have a job and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's just that you realize that none of this is important. And we act like it is because now you have this job at Sheets, and in order for you to keep your job, you got to make sure that you get this done at this time and check the temperatures of these things and make sure you roll up the carpets and do that kind of stuff. And all this tedious, unimportant stuff becomes important because you signed up for the job at Sheets. Like, that's how everything is. Like, if you were working your job and then you're getting yelled at to get your job done, the job's not important. You just signed up for it. And if you don't like it, then get out of it. Don't feel like you're stuck there because there's a million more jobs. And there's a million more people that'll treat you better. Find a place where you feel good at. Doesn't matter what the activity is, but if you hate your job, get a different job. No matter what. So, yeah, I don't know. I was just thought it was sort of interesting because it's so hard to try to tell anything to people because they honestly don't even seem like they want to hear it. I'm like, I got some things I want to talk to people about, like about how we could actually make this world a better place. But I don't have the ability to be in the position to do it. I'm at work. They're at work. I can't be like, this is what we need to do for the world. And it's not like they have time to listen. They're working. And I don't have time to tell them because I'm working. And when I'm not working, I'm not around anybody. Because I don't know how to get myself out on stage by telling people that can get me on stage the story ahead of time until I get these videos done. I feel like that's the only way to do it because people don't listen long enough for them to get your drift. Other than that, they might be like, "Oh, that makes sense," but then I'm busy, I got to do this other thing. Like, people are so distracted. Even big wigs and people in charge can't pay attention because they're just another person. They just happen to have a job, just like you have a job at Sheets and you have a manager at Sheets. Well, he has a manager, and then they have a higher up, and then they have a higher up. Well, even the higher ups are just people with a job and a position, so they don't even really know. They have just as much attention as anybody else. Maybe a little better if they've managed it a little more, but not many people are very aware of what they're doing, and that's a fact. It's not a guess, it's a fact. I know that. I see them. If they act like, especially the big wigs, if they think that their business is important, then they're the most delusional. Because it's unimportant. Sheets is unimportant. Bread is unimportant. Being alive is important. Those things being here, I'm not saying be disgraceful or disrespectful to anything, but they're not important in a sense of they're be-all, end-all, and it takes priority over people. Living things and living beings and the things that create us are what's important. Not unneeded extras, or dealing with somebody being rude to you for no reason when you can easily decide to remove yourself from that situation. But anyway, that's all I got to say for now. I love you guys. Peace.